The last time when I was on my vacation, I was worried about my plants, the potted plants that I have at home, and I thought that these plants may actually dry up because there is nobody to actually water them regularly. So I decided to come up with an automated irrigation system. So let's see how to build up one for yourself. Now, the setup can be as simple as this. So you have one bucket or some kind of tank which holds the water at a higher level, and the water flows down by gravity. And you have a valve here, which basically controls the on and off of water. So this is simple system, but there are a few problems. The first problem is that since it's a gravity fed system, so as and when the water starts coming down in the storage tank or in this bucket, you will have lesser and lesser flow. So basically the flow comes down as the time increases or over the number of days. Also, this valve is not very readily available. It's slightly more expensive than the other system that I'm going to show. And this is the other system. So this is not a gravity fed system. So you have a active pump. So it's an active system which basically sucks the water from this storage tank or a bottle, and you can program this pump in such a way that you can irrigate the plant as and when needed. And also this pump is readily available because these pumps are used mainly for aquarium and such kind of applications, so they are cheaply available. Like the one which is shown here, it costs only 179 Indian rupees. And you note the number of this pump, so you can get it from one of the source that I have shown here, but you can also get it from Amazon. But this number is important because it decides the inlet and the outlet the pipe diameter. Now, to get the water to your pump, you need pipe, and so this is a pipe that you can get from Amazon. You can get it from anywhere else, but make sure that the pipe is PVC or a flexible pipe, and also the ID is very important, otherwise it will not match with the size of the pump that I have shown in the earlier picture. So this is my setup, the pump that I had procured recently and the same pipe which is connected. You can see the pipe has fitted very nicely on this pump, and there is no leakage anywhere. Also note that the top side is the inlet and the bottom side is the outlet. Also, the pump need a power supply. It's a 12-volt motor which is connected to this pump, and so it need a 12-volt supply. And you can solder two wires, or you can make it little more rugged by connecting this heat shrink sleeve. You don't want this wire to disconnect sometime when you are not at home. Also, you need one 12 volts adapter. You can get it from anywhere. Now, once you get your items, you can have two options to automate the entire setup. The first option is simple. It doesn't need any programming. It doesn't need any soldering. The only downside is that it is slightly less flexible. So for that you need one timer which will basically do the automation. And you have this timer which is controlling this adapter, and whenever you program this timer to switch on this adapter, it will generate 12 volts which will power this pump, and this pump will feed the water to your potted plant. Now the option 2 is slightly more flexible, but it also needs some more programming of the setup, and also it has some advantage that the speed of the pump can be controlled. So in the previous picture, the speed of the pump cannot be controlled, it's just on and off. But in this option 2, the speed of the pump can be controlled, and the advantage of that is that you can have a variable flow rate. Also, you don't have to suddenly start on the pump, which may cause the pipe to come out over number of operations. So you can do a gentle start of the pump. So for that you need one Arduino board, and you have to make a circuit like this. So these are very basic parts: 680 ohms transistor, some LED for indication, and you connect the pump here. Now what I have not shown is that you need not connect the pump directly to your circuit, but you can have a small connector here that I have shown here. So this is the board that I made. So you obviously need to have some basic soldering skill, and also you need to have the soldering iron at home. So you make this circuit exactly like what I have shown in my previous schematic, and this is the connector for the pump. Another picture of the board mounted on the Arduino. So as you can see, it mounts on top of the Arduino, and this is the complete setup that I have. So this is the 12 volts adapter. I have not shown the adapter, and this is my circuit with Arduino, and this is the pump which is connected and the tube. So that's all about the setup. Now let's look at the code for Arduino. The code is very simple. It just consists of 40 lines of code, including the spaces and everything. So it's a very simple code. So what you need to do is just enable the pin number 5, which I've shown in my picture as the pin that I'll be using to drive the pump. So you make that pin as digital output, and this is a programmable delay. So for my demonstration, I have kept the delay as 5 seconds, but the commented part of the code, you can see that you can increase it to 1 minute or 1 hour, 1 day or 3 days, any number of days that you want. You can set this time delay. Now once the delay is over, what this part of the code, what it does is it slowly or gently increases the speed of the pump over a time of 2 seconds. And once this time of 2 seconds is over, then it runs the pump for another 2 seconds. Now this part of the code can also be changed based on your requirement. If you have a lot of plants, then you can make it to 10 seconds so that the pump runs for 10 seconds to full speed, or whatever time you need. And once this time is also over, then it switches off the pump, and then the cycle repeats. Again it will wait for 1 day or 2 days, whatever time you need, and then it starts the pump again, and then it runs and it stops the pump. So this cycle it repeats. It's a very simple code. If you have basic programming skills of Arduino, you can easily do this. So after programming, you can now observe the gentle start of the motor by observing the glowing of this green LED. So let me turn on the power now. Turning on now. 5 seconds delay and gentle start of the motor, and then the motor runs for 2 seconds. Turn off. 5 second delay. Again gentle start, run for 2 seconds, stop. So this is the final demonstration. So this is the power supply, the 12 volts adapter, and the board and the pump, and here I have a water can, and this is the inlet which is sucking the water from this can, and this is the outlet which for now it is not tied properly, but in the final setup some holes can be made on each of this point where your flower pots are there. So you can, yeah, so something like this. So you make one hole here, another hole here, another hole here, hole here. So basically everywhere you make a hole, and at the end this end of the tube you have to basically plug. So you have to close this. So when you close it, because of the water pressure, the water will not come from this end, but water will be dripping into each of this pot whenever the pump runs. So for now I have not done any hole in the pipe. So I'll just show the demonstration of how the water is flowing out from this. So my son, he is helping me out. Hold the pipe like this, slightly up. Yes. Alright, so I'm switching on the power now. and the initial 5-second delay which can be made to 1 day, 2 days, anything, and after that the pump runs for 2 seconds, then turns off, again the delay, again it runs, again it stops, again it's running, again it's stopping. Hold it down like this. Yes. So this is how it will run, and you can see the length of the pipe that I have suggested. It is good enough to actually cover a number of pot. And if you want to listen to how the pump runs, it is like this. And this is how it sucks the water from the. So this is the demo. So again, just one more round. So just switch on, and the pump runs, and the water flows out into this mug for now. But later on, once you make holes at various points on this pipe, the water will basically drip out of the pipe into the pot. And obviously, to make the system little more neat, everything can be enclosed. All this can be enclosed in a simple like a metal box or something. Don't use a plastic or cardboard enclosure, because it's not safe for electronic component. Anything may heat up and may catch fire, so when you are not there, so it's always preferable to use a metal enclosure. Yes. So this is how it is, and you can make various improvisation to it, like you can put the pipe backside, or if you want to make a temporary setup, then you can put all the pots in a circle and make the pipe around it like this. So various options are possible.